Hey everybody, it's me, Sky Trooper 88, or Sergeant Purnell, or Drill Sergeant Purnell, whatever you know me as. So I'll get right into it. This is my end of course review for MRT, this Master Resilience Trainer, right? It is an Army course. I do believe the Air Force can take it, but it's like under certain circumstances, if they pay for it or whatever, they don't get credit for it. We actually get some, I think, college credits for it for the Army. It's a great course, and most people know resiliency as they will identify it as bouncing back and through adversities, and that's pretty much what it is. That you ask anybody on the street what resiliency is. But to me, the course was more of a leadership course. I really enjoyed it. I think it should be a leadership course, and I know they teach parts of the course in different and other leadership courses as well. But I really liked the course. I really thought it was well put together. The course is not a military course per se. It was made up by University of Pennsylvania, and they just adjusted it for the military, for our own, like really for us. So the course is a 12-day course. Class starts at like 7:45. You get out at like 3:15, 3:30, sometimes 4, depending on what the day is. So the way the class went was you have a big class that everyone's in. It's about 72 people in our class. And then you're broken down to smaller classes. They're called breakout rooms. So you have a leader for that. You have other people in that class that help out, rotate and talk to you and help you out. In the big class, you learn a concept that day, like that concept or whatever it is, or a skill. You talk about it, watch videos, and then you go into your breakout rooms where you can talk a little bit more in depth and ask questions and get questions answered and kind of understand the skill more. So there's 14 skills, and then there's 6 core competencies. Each skill has a core competencies. Some core competencies cover more than one skill. So, take it for what it is. The course really made me think about who I am as a person and who I am as a leader as well. And what I mean by that is I was looking at some of the things that we did, and I was like, man, I am sucking on this, right? I'm not that great at some things, and some things I am great at. And before we even come to class, we have to do this survey that's 240 questions, and it's called a VIA survey, which is values in action, right? So you answer all these questions, and they give you 24 character strengths that you have, and it goes from 1 to 24. So obviously the top ones are the top ones that you have. So for instance, my top strengths were fairness, equality, justice. That's 1. My second strength was humor and playfulness. So if you know me, I like to joke a lot. And my third one was gratitude. Those were my top 3. And I was looking at the other ones, and I didn't really look at it before I went to class until we sat down. And they were like, hey, how do you guys feel about these core character strengths? You had to print them out. So people were like, I don't agree with it. I'm an amazing leader. Leadership should be number 1. Obviously, we're in a class with all NCOs or all officers or civilians. So everyone is going to be some type of leader. And they were explaining it to us. They was like, well, these aren't the only thing that you have as a character for character strength. And they started asking questions. So my top one was fairness, equity, and justice. I don't know if I said equality, but it's equity. And I'll read it to you. It says, treating all people fairly is one of your abiding principles. You do not let your personal feelings bias your decisions about other people. You give everyone a chance. That is true. So if you know me, you might not know that about me, but now you know that about me. So now you know about me. My second one was playfulness and humor. So if you know me, you already know that. Like to make people laugh and tease. Bringing smiles to other people is important to you. You try to see the light side of all situations. My last one is gratitude. You're aware of good things that happen to you. You never take them for granted. Your friends and family members know that you're a grateful person because you always take the time to express yourself, which is true. And as I thought about it, I was like, well, I'm also a kind person, a great leader, social intelligence, all these things, top 10. But I was like, leadership was like 11. I'm like, I think I'm a good leader. But when they explained it to us, justice and being fair in the NCO Creed, I'll be fair and impartial, or recommending both rewards and punishment. That's a big thing for me, because we always tend to, in the military, or in the Army per se, we always tend to harp on what people don't do right and not what they do right. And it's like, you have to be fair in both things. Like, if you do a good job, I'm going to give you that praise. If you don't do a good job, I'm going to let you know, because it's unfair that you always get the negative and never the positive. So that was just that. That survey we did, which tied into one of the skills, which is identifying character traits of other people, right? And ourselves, others and ourselves, right? And character strengths, that's one of our character strengths, was our top 7. So when people heard that and they understood, they got an explanation, they were like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I can tie another strength that might be lower to something that's higher, because it makes sense. I do that type of thing, right? So, for instance, my 24th one is forgiveness. So that was 24 for me. So people were like it was like 4 of us in the class that had like the bottom. Everybody was like, dang, y'all are mean. But I think my reason why is because I'm a fair person. So I feel like if I'm fair to you, I don't want to say it's harder for me to forgive you, but it's like, I was fair to you. I gave you a chance. You broke that chance, so but it also depends on your timeline, who you're talking to, who you're around. And one of the things they said to do was have other people take it for you, because other people see you differently as you see yourself. And also, this is not the end of the be-alls, because a big thing is, what happened to me 10 years ago is different from what happened to me last week. So when I took the survey last week, just an example, I might have gone through some things, and when I answered the question, I thought about that. Now, it was something very important in my life, and I thought about it when they asked me. I would obviously have answered a different way. But usually, like, you're not the same person when you were 17 as I'm 35 now. So I changed. Maybe I was more forgiving before, and now I'm not, because I'm more fair before. I'm more fair now. But we had different things on there. One thing I wanted to talk about real quick was 2 things. So hunt the good stuff. People usually say hunt the good stuff and they think about MRT. It's not just about saying good things. Oh, this happened to me or whatever. It's about getting a reflection of those good things. Why did that happen to you? Why is that significant to you? Let's just say I got to watch TV yesterday. Okay, that's kind of vague, right? But if I say why is that important? Like, well, because my TV was broke, I was broke, and when I got paid, I got it fixed. Now I'm glad that I had that job and was able to watch TV, because I love watching TV. It makes more sense, right? That's where hunt the good stuff really comes from, the reflection of what good happened to you. And the other thing I want to talk about is, so we call it ACR, which is effective praise and active constructive responding. So pretty much how you listen to people, right? And real quick, because this is, I'm in the Army, I can tell you about these 4 types we have, right? Only 1 is good, 4 is bad. So you have active constructive listening, passive constructive listening, active destructive listening, and passive destructive listening. Now, 3 of those are bad. They could be good, but in that, I think we all kind of go through it, all 3 of the phases at a point in the conversation. And this is a skill you use with people that you kind of care about. Not that you don't care about other people, but But MRT is not a end of the be all of end of whatever you call it, right? It's not the only thing you have to do. Like, somebody comes to you, like, MRT, let's go right now. It's more of a thing like, hey, and I could say you can use one of these skills to talk to people, problem solving, whatever like that, because most people come to you with a problem. You gotta use problem solving. So I could kind of say you can use it, but you have to know what you're doing. Like, that person probably didn't go to MRT class. You're not gonna sit down with that person and be like, all right, MRT me. And you're like, all right, well, let's just do this, right? So you can use it, a little bit of it, you can use a lot of it, depending on the situation, who you're talking to, what is going on, how you're feeling. You might not today might not be your day, right? Maybe tomorrow might be a better day for you, MRTM. If it's reasonable, like if it needs to be. So that was my spiel on MRT. If you're a leader, take the course. You will not, I promise you will not regret it. It's a great course. I learned a lot about myself as a person, as a leader. That was my main thing, what I could get out of it. And that's what I try to do when I go to any course. What am I getting out of this course? I might not get 100% on the test, but did I learn something? Did I get something out of it? So I hope that helped you with my review, and I will see you later.